I think the cartoonizing of foreign policy has certainly been something that we witnessed all through the years of economic sanctions, where really, honestly, many people in the United States basically understood that only one person lived in all of Iraq, Saddam Hussein. And now it's interesting, you can find people, I'd almost be willing to bet all the money I don't have on it, that they can pronounce Ahmadinejad's name, but they probably couldn't find Iran on the map necessarily. So we are finding this new process of demonization, and I think it would be honest to say that both countries, Iran and the United States, share a burden in that they're led by immature, and in the case of the United States, very, very reckless leadership. I want to say that with regard to the victims of the warfare, it's heartening to hear your question. I've lost sight of your face. There you are. Reminding us that the cost of this war has so disproportionately been borne by people in Iraq. 122,000 Iraqi children didn't reach their 5th birthdays in 2006. And one of the reasons that wasn't reported is because General Petraeus bumped the United Nations humanitarian report. He sent somebody sent Ambassador Ryan Crocker to the United Nations and said, look, don't release that humanitarian catastrophe report on September 7th, as it was planned to be released that week, because it might interfere with General Petraeus's more sunny and optimistic report about the surge. So we have tried, in response to the question of looking for creative actions, we really are serious about people exercising their congressional right to assemble peaceably for the redress of grievance. Many people have assembled peaceably on street corners for 5, 6, 7 years now, and it builds community, but we want to take those vigils inside the offices of elected representatives. Well, what do you do once you go inside? One thing some of us have done is just go in with folders. They're thick, that have the names and the ages and the place of death of people who died, both Americans and Iraqis, and then just open the folder and sit down and begin. Akbar Mustafa, 3 years old, we remember you. Sergeant First Class Ryan Clancy, 21 years old, we remember you. We'd be there for many days if we read and sang all the names. And sometimes we'll ring a bell, sometimes intersperse that with a poem. Generally, you don't leave without cuffs on, but sometimes we do that. We don't have to get arrested. That's not the aim. The aim is to be able to try to create a certainty amongst these elected representatives that there are determined groups who will return again and again with more and more and more people. And now we go to the offices of people that are aspiring presidential candidates. So while I'm quite guilty of consuming much more than any person's fair share of petroleum in flying here and there, I did come straight from the county jail. I was kind of glad they let me out on time to make my flight, because we'd just been in Des Moines, Iowa, doing pretty much what I just described. And we look to try to make that grow. Voices for Creative Nonviolence came out of a group called Voices in the Wilderness, and we organized 70 delegations to go to Iraq in open and public defiance of the economic sanctions. We carried our duffel bags full of medicines and medical relief supplies, and we were a tiny motley crew. Always people say, well, how were you funded? Translated, did Saddam Hussein send you money? But actually we embezzled from my dad's pension and Social Security. We took care of him. We took very good care of him in the last 7 years of his life, but that's pretty much how we funded things. So we're a small group, but I think we had an impact disproportionate to our numbers and resources. With regard to the rights of children, again, what could be more important or life-giving or worthwhile to do? I go back to my earlier caricature of myself, but it was true, asking, well, maybe they don't have anything better to do. But, you know, look at any child anywhere on the planet, and what could be better to do than to work very steadily, with great determination, so that those children can have a fair share.